Welcome to the Explainer, where we turn complex documentation into clear, actionable knowledge. Today, we're diving deep into the Snowflake Cortex AI Functions to show you what they are, how they work, and how you can get started. So let's just kick things off with a big idea, a really powerful one. What if you could bring the best AI models in the world directly to your data, instead of having to ship your valuable, sensitive data out to the models? Imagine that. No more complicated pipelines, no more security headaches. Well, that's exactly the promise we're going to explore today.
And here's the answer: Snowflake Cortex. So what is it? It's a set of AI functions that are serverless, and that just means you don't have to manage any of the servers or infrastructure. It's all handled for you. And these functions are available in both SQL and Python, putting top-tier large language models right inside your Snowflake account. The most important part, your data never ever leaves your Snowflake environment. It's all secure right where it is. No data movement, no complex setup.
So here's our game plan. We'll start by unpacking what it really means to have AI living inside your data, and then we'll check out your new AI toolkit. After that, we'll talk security and governance, cover the nitty-gritty of models and cost, and then finally, we'll see how you can put it all into action. Okay, first up, your new AI toolkit. Let's take a look at the powerful new serverless functions you now have at your disposal. You can kind of think about these functions in two main groups: generative and analytical. One is like your creative co-pilot for making new stuff, and the other is your super smart analyst for making sense of the data you've already got. Let's kick things off with the tools that generate and analyze text. All right, first up, we have AI_complete. Honestly, you should think of this as your Swiss Army knife for pretty much all things generative AI. It's your workhorse. You give it a prompt, you pick a model, and you've got choices from Meta, Mistral, Anthropic, you name it. And boom, you get a completion. It's awesome for Q&A, summarizing text, creating content, the list goes on. Next is AI Classify. This one is just incredibly useful for taming that wild, unstructured data. You just define a few labels like, say, urgent or billing question for your support tickets, and this function will automatically sort your text into those buckets. It's an absolute game changer for things like content moderation or getting customer emails to the right person fast. You know, one of the biggest headaches in data has always been messy, unstructured text. Well, AI Extract is basically the cure for that headache. It dives into a sentence or a whole document and pulls out the good stuff, like company names, important dates, or product codes, and gives it to you in a nice, structured format. And check this out. This is how powerful it is in the real world. You take a plain old sentence like this one about Snowflake, and with just one function call, it hands you back a perfect, clean JSON object. Just like that messy text is now structured data ready for you to query and analyze. But wait, there's more. It's not just about text. The Cortex toolkit goes way beyond that, giving you a whole suite of functions for dealing with media files, plus some really handy helper functions that just make your job easier. And this toolkit is seriously packed. You've got AI Transcribe to turn your meeting recordings into text, AI Parse Document to pull text out of PDFs, AI Embed to create vector embeddings, which is just a fancy way of turning your words into numbers so you can do cool things like similarity searches. There are also specialized functions for sentiment analysis and even redacting sensitive info. Plus, and this is a good one, AI Count Tokens lets you check how big your prompt is before you run it so you can keep an eye on costs. It really is a complete toolbox. Okay, so with all this incredible power living right next to your most sensitive data, you're probably thinking about security, right? And you should be. Snowflake gives you total control and confidence with a really smart two-layered approach to governance. So you basically get two main ways to lock this down. Think of it like a broad stroke and a fine-toothed comb. For the broad stroke, you have account-level allow lists. Super simple. The admin can just say, hey, in our company, we only use these 3 models, and that's it. Done. Then for that fine-toothed comb control, you have the good old role-based access control, or RBAC. This lets you grant access to specific models to specific roles, just like you manage permissions for any other table or view. And you can even use them together for ultimate control. And setting up that really granular role-based control, it's super straightforward. It's just 3 steps that'll feel really familiar if you've ever managed permissions in Snowflake. First, you run a quick procedure. Second, you just check that the roles were created. And third, you just grant those new roles to your user roles. Same old grant command you already know and love. It's that easy to make sure the right people have access to the right AI. And there's one more layer of protection. kind of a built-in safety net. It's called Cortex Guard, and it's an optional filter you can switch on for the AI Complete function. It's built with Meta's Llama Guard technology, and it basically acts as a final check to automatically screen out potentially harmful responses before they ever get back to your user.
All right, time for the part everyone really wants to know about: models, performance, and cost. We're going to get right into the nitty-gritty here and answer those two big questions every data pro has. Which model do I pick, and what's this going to cost me?
So choosing a model is actually pretty easy because Snowflake groups them into these tiers. For simple, quick jobs like a basic summary or classification, you can use a small, fast model like Mistral 7B or the Llama 3.1 8B. If you're building something like a chatbot or need to create some content, you can step up to a medium model like Mixtral. And for those really heavy-duty problems that need complex, multi-step thinking, you've got the big guns like Claude 3.5 Sonnet. It's all about picking the right tool for the job. Now, let's talk about how you pay for this. The currency of AI models is something called a token. And the easiest way to wrap your head around it is this. One token is roughly equal to about 4 characters of regular English text. That's your basic unit of cost. The billing model is pretty simple. For the creative stuff, like AI Complete, you pay for the tokens you send in and the tokens you get back. For other functions like embedding, you just pay for what goes in. And listen up, here is a huge pro tip. These functions are not made faster by bigger warehouses. Using anything larger than a medium-sized warehouse won't improve performance, it'll just burn through your credits faster. So stick with the smaller ones for these jobs.
And you're not flying blind here. Of course not. You can track every single credit you spend. Snowflake gives you these dedicated account usage views, so you can see the big picture of your AI spending, or you can drill all the way down to see cost per function and even the cost of a single query. You get full transparency. Okay, enough talk. Let's get to the fun part, our final section. Let's see what this actually looks like when you write the code. And the best part is just how simple it is. You can tap into all this power with just a single line of SQL or a quick line of Python.
Just look at this. I mean, if you know SQL, you already know how to do this. It's just a regular select statement. You call the AI_complete function, you pass in the model name you want to use, and then you write your prompt. You hit run, and the answer shows up right there in your worksheet. It just feels like a natural part of the database. And for all you Python folks, it's just as clean and simple. Seriously, you just import the complete function from the library, and you call it with the exact same 2 things, the model and the prompt. It plugs right into your Snowpark data frames, your data pipelines, your apps. It's just incredibly easy and powerful. And really, that's the big takeaway here. The tools are ready, the models are right there waiting for you. Everything is secure, governed, and tightly connected to the data you already have sitting in Snowflake. So the only real question left is, what are you going to build first?